Hello guys, and welcome to another chapter of GSX Level 2 tutorial. On this one, we're going to speak about errors, situations that you might encounter on your day-to-day with your interaction on GSX Level 2. Now, sometimes you might get a crash on the code, that's the engine that runs the GSX Level 2, and on certain crashes, or certain situations, you might find yourself that the whole GSX level 2 or GSX menu has disappeared from here. Okay, you might exit the simulator and you come back again and you still don't have it here. And the only way to solve this, it's because this is caused by a situation that the code engine does not shut off. So when you exit the simulator, I recommend that when you get one of these crashes, you go into the task manager. Okay, you press task manager here, and it opens this menu. And you're going to find here that the code scripting engine still is on way after you closed P3D. Now, you have to end this task before you go back into the simulator, okay? Now that I've done this, next time that I go back in, the menu of GSX will be available again. So I'm going to pause the recording and I'll meet you back in the cabin again. Okay, we're back in the scenery, and as you see here, we're getting the jetways back online, and everything seems to be okay. Now, there are two errors that annoyed most of you, and they're pretty easy to solve, and it all has to do with not so well done configuration. Okay, the first I'm going to do, I've modified my already finished configuration of this scenery of Madrid Barajas scenery, and Lima Echo Mike Delta for those of you who are interested in. It's really beautiful. In any case, one of the things that you might encounter is if you try to activate GSX level 2, you're going to get an error here that says that this parking is too small for your aircraft. Ground services will not be available. Okay, I'll play it again. Right there. Okay. And now that is because your customization of GSX level 2 has not given the right wingspan capability, space for this parking space or whatever. And so the thing we're going to do here is we're going to customize the airport position, because if you go to here, it will tell you the same mistake, the same error. So if you press there, you're going to press the little plane here, and it should, okay, hold on a second. This, for some reason, is low. And it changed already to 35. You see, it was 33 before. And if you press here, it will change it to the wingspan of the aircraft you have placed on this parking space. Now, if we apply it, before we close, we apply it and we close it, and we press Control Shift F2, 12, and now you get the menu, okay? Now, the second error that is very common is if you operate the Jetway, asks you which ground force, and then is going to tell you the next error here. No Jetway can operate at this position. Okay, you see it right here. And the reason for this is that the Jetway is either too small or too large. Okay, now if it's too large for any of the two doors, it will give you that same message. But there are other occasions where you haven't configured it properly, that it will not tell you that there's any problem. But the moment you activate you operate the Jetway, if you haven't checked to which doors this Jetway is okay, which we're going to do now, you might end up in a situation that I found myself in, that I've configured it too long, not too long as to not be able to serve any door, but long enough to be able to serve to this door, the second door on the left, but not the first one on the left. Therefore, the Jetway will operate and will go to the second door on the left, crashing your wing. And that is not something that we want to happen. So to solve this situation, we're going to, oops, sorry about that. And we're going to customize the parking position. And we're going to tell them to give us a different size of Jetway. You can do it by choosing a different one here, or you can just go to the Jetway here, okay, and you press F6 in making it bigger or longer, and now we're going to check with number 5 numeric keypad, and it's going to tell you which door can it serve. Now it says first left, which is exactly what we want. I'm going to give it a little bit more size, okay, just in case we're not parked in the right position or whatever, okay? And yeah, this takes care of both situations, okay? You remember always to check which door is this Jetway capable of servicing, okay? In this case, it serves door 1 left. Everything seems to be okay. Now, I'm going to speak about other kind of errors you might encounter yourself in. Now, when I first installed GSX Level 2, I found it to be very, very unstable, very erratic. It was making the absurd mistakes when it shouldn't. On one situation, on the same situation, the next day it wasn't. Oh, by the way, I just realized that this Jetway is not properly placed. So we're going to place it on the right position. Once it lets me, there you go. And we're going to turn it a bit to the right, to the left, sorry, and to the rear. Okay, we press 5 again, and it's perfect. Okay, now when I first installed GSX Level 2, I did not uninstall Level 1. And I found out later that that was the reason for all my nightmares. And now, the way I solved it, of course, is uninstalling the full version of GSX, of both of the GSX Level 1 and 2. And I went to FSDreamteam, and I download this one right here, which takes care of both versions, okay? If you have the registration key for both of them in your computer from the previous installation, you shouldn't have any problem. Now, I've shown you already probably the most common mistakes. There's another one that you might encounter, which is no pushback available for this position. And when you go to a specific gate, you have to always, I explained this before, when we configured we did the fine tuning of the whole scenery. But since it's kind of an error, I'm going to mention it here again. And when you talk about the parking here, it's going to tell you if it's to the left, to the right, or to both. If you press none, it's just going to push back straight backwards, okay? Now, in a different chapter, I will talk about situations where you might choose to the left or to the right, and it doesn't place the plane on the right position. Now, the way to solve that, it's very complicated, but I will address that in a different chapter, okay? Not now. But if you have the directions which you can push back selected, you wouldn't have any problem in pushing back. Most of the cases, it's always solved by just touching this. And okay, the other, I think there's no more errors that I can think of right now. I'm sure you guys might encounter others. These are the ones that I've been facing with, that I encountered on my early days in GSX level 2, and as of today, I could not find another one. There's another one in this scenery that it crashes when you try to configure the heavy gates of certain heavy gates, not all of them, of Terminal 4 Sierra. Now, uh, and it happens, for example, on this one on the right, you see it doesn't have a gate number here, and that's because there's something corrupt about the interaction of this scenery, just this scenery. I have not discovered this in any of the other 35 sceneries that I'm sharing with you in the link below. The sceneries configuration, that is. And I have not found in any of them, and just in Madrid. But I know for sure that is a problem of GSX. Okay, if I had to edit the ini file, the file that has all the parameters of every gate by hand in the text editor, and that's the only way I could actually configure this whole airport, which it took me a lot of time because there was problems with the parking distances and so forth. That is the issue that I mentioned before that I will explain in a future chapter. I had to do a lot of corrections here, and I have no idea why Madrid has been so difficult, but it has been, and I'm happy that it is finished now, and I'm sharing it with you in the folder below, in the link below, where you'll find the 35 sceneries that I'm either working on or fully finished. The ones that are fully finished have the word full ahead of it. So this ends the chapter for errors, and see you soon in the next chapter. Bye-bye.